Now that we've looked at some general guidelines around fair fighting, we're going to look at some very specific concrete steps. Step 1, we're going to say when blah blah blah, and in that blank we're going to describe what happened without using the term you. The reason we want to avoid using the word you is because your child already knows that there's a problem, that there's something up, because you're confronting him. So it's not a question of whether he will or won't be defensive. He is going to be defensive. He's going to have his defenses up, but we want to reduce his defenses as much as possible, and one way to do that is not use the term you, so he doesn't feel attacked. So for example, if he breaks something in the house, instead of saying when you threw the clock across the room or when you punched a hole in the wall, instead we want to say when things in the house get broken. Okay, so step 1, when, and then you're going to describe what happened without using the term you. Now, in step 2, we're going to describe how the child's negative behavior affected us. And the reason that that is important is because your child will benefit from understanding that his negative choices negatively affect others. So in step 2, we're going to say, it creates a problem for me because, and here again, we're going to avoid using the term you. So here's what we have so far, running with this theme of damage to property. When things in the house get broken, it creates a problem for me because I have to come up with the money to fix the damage. So now in step 3, we're going to do a very important thing here. We're going to attribute positive intention to our child's behavior. You could think of attributing positive intention as a way to kind of reframe or put a positive spin on things, or you could think of it as kind of reverse psychology. In any event, let me explain to you why this works. An out-of-control kid doesn't really know why he behaves the way that he does. So if you, the parent, claim that he's doing something for some reason and it's a good reason, he's going to be inclined to believe it. For example, if your child is angry or negative with you and you respond with positive reframing, then he's likely to get confused. Here he's trying to be defiant. He's wanting to get a negative reaction out of you, but you're saying some nice things that strike him as rather weird, but at some level he enjoys hearing it. As a result of his confusion about what you're doing, he's going to unknowingly become your partner in problem solving. So in step 3, we're going to state the original crime, and then we're going to attach a positive motive to that crime. We're going to convince our kid that they behaved that way for a good reason. So we're going to say, I know that you, for example, broke the window because you didn't know what else to do with your strong emotions, or I know that you got home late because you enjoy being out with your friends, or I know that you pushed your sister down the stairs because you don't know how strong you are, or I know that you drank alcohol because you just wanted to experiment with something new, or I know that you talked back to the teacher because you don't know what else to say when you're upset. Now, in a way, it is kind of minimizing their behavior, but we want to normalize their behavior, again, in an effort to bring their defenses down as much as possible. Now, in the 4th and final step, we're going to offer our child an option that will have a positive outcome for both us and the kids. Okay? So step 4, we say, but I'd rather we come up with a plan where you, for example, tell me what you need before you have strong emotions, or ask me ahead of time if you can stay out a little later, or come to me first when your sister is doing things to annoy you, or let me know what's bothering you at school. Then I'll talk to the teacher and we'll come up with a plan to make it better for you. So in the 4th and final step, we're offering options. Let's use an example, and we'll run through all this again. Steps 1 through 4. Let's use the example of you have discovered and you have evidence that your child got in your purse and stole $20. So here's the 4 steps with the example of theft. When money comes up missing from my purse, it creates a problem for me because I don't have gas money to get to work. I know you took the money because you had your heart set on spending it for something really important to you, but I'd rather come up with a plan where you ask me for a chore to do in order to earn some money. So with this strategy, We are avoiding using the word you in order to reduce defensiveness. We're letting our child know that his negative behavior negatively impacts others. We're also reframing his behavior. In other words, we're acknowledging that he behaved that way for a good reason, not because he's a bad kid. And lastly, we're offering options that will hopefully have a positive outcome for everybody.